Okay, ready to start village board.
All right, call the order the village board meeting at Lisbon Village Hall on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at
I got 6:45.
45. Roll call again.
President Gerke,
Here.
trustee Moonen,
Here.
trustee Baum,
Here.
trustee Quinn.
Here.
Trustee Beal is present on Zoom. Treasurer Gerard.
Here.
Administrator Green.
Here.
DPW Director Willikowski is present and in the audience, and Clerk Capazzo is present to record the minutes.
All right, and we just did the Pledge of Allegiance during the public hearing, so we'll move on to citizen comments. Kurt, still nothing? All right.
If anyone on Zoom would like to make a comment during citizen comment, please use the raise hand function. No hands raised on Zoom.
All right, so item 4 is the consent agenda. Is there a motion on these 7 items or anything that you'd like to pull off? So then is there a,
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda for the items A through G as presented.
Is that subject to all plan commission, planner and engineer comments and recommendations?
It is.
Wonderful, thank you.
the motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. I guess one thing I just wanted to just to have a brief discussion on was the Parks Committee
yeah.
appointments. Paula, you've talked with Jeff, and that was, you had a good conversation, I understand.
He sat at my office today. We spent about just under 30 minutes together and just told me about his background and what do you do. I think he'll bring a lot to the Parks Committee. And he doesn't live across the road from LCP. Get a little
Diversity.
diversity in the group, yeah. Very knowledgeable about parks projects, so he's gonna bring some good stuff to the board.
Thanks.
Yep.
Good to hear. Anything else on the consent agenda items? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. I assume that was 5-0. Linda, right? I missed it, but
Pardon me?
you voted in
I
favor?
did vote for it.
Okay,
I
great.
did vote for
We'll move on to item 5A, which is authorized payment of the one-click bills dated October 23rd for $2,057.66. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
it. Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries 4-0. Item 5B is motion looking to authorize payment for the remaining bills dated October 23rd in the amount of $943,161.52 and November 6th for $259,086.50.
Make a motion to approve that.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we'll have discussion. You want to make the highlights?
Yeah, I'll just read the top 5 expenditures from both for the October 23rd. Payne and Dolan Inc. at $338,866.95. Milwaukee $184,541.67. US Bank for $182,752.30. Waukesha County Treasurer $76,669.14. And Carrick Homes building bond refund of $20,000. And November 6th bills, City of Milwaukee $184,540.67. Premier building inspections at $27,585.79. Municipal law and litigation at $8,143.10. Both infrastructure $7,720.20. And we interviewed at $5,354.80.
Right, is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item 6 is announcements and correspondence. I'll list the upcoming meetings that we have. Public Works and Utility Committee meeting on Wednesday, November 19th, here at the Village Hall, 5 o'clock.
that was actually rescheduled to Tuesday, from 11:19 to Tuesday, 11:18, still at 5 o'clock, just moved ahead one day.
Okay, Yeah.
And we are also not going to be doing a Parks Committee meeting, in the month of December, so that, the next Parks Committee meeting will be the January meeting.
Okay, I will note that on my calendar as well.
all right, the plan commission meeting from November and December was combined and rescheduled to Wednesday, December 3rd at 6:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station. Then we'll meet at a regular time and place here at the village board next month on December 10th. Is there any other announcement of correspondence to note? All right, we'll move on to the administrator report. Ben?
Sure. So I worked on finalizing the final budget numbers for tonight's public hearing. Those getting the levy and the worksheet ready to go and finalized. Doing some work with the audits, with the village treasurer, who's taking the brunt of that. Working with staff and with our staff on health insurance changes and enrollment. Continuing to work with Strand on the water project with William Plan and Stone, which we have tomorrow. I did a site tour with architecture and working with Blake Thiessen Architecture on next steps on that project. Nick and I ordered 2 signs, one for Village Hall and one for the building, so those Nick picked up, and I believe he will work with his staff on getting those installed in the next couple weeks. And working through the fire inspection building, got a lot of, I wouldn't say pushback, but just the updating addresses and things like that, people questioning what it's for. Been actually going pretty smooth, left one. But yeah, so far so good, so. Yeah.
All right, anyone have any questions for Dan? All right, we'll move on to the treasurer's quarterly report for the third quarter. Natasha?
I'll speak to a couple updates regarding utility and taxes before we get into the financials. And then as Dan mentioned, the preliminary audit was completed last week. Regarding utility, the deputies are trained on the residential billing process, so that's for the quarterly bills. And also the receiving, and they divided the workload for that October billing cycle. The utility delinquent letters went out on 10/15, and that process is a work in progress. Since the migration from the previous sanitary district software, so all of this is new for us this year, each of these steps. The penalties were applied November 1st, and then we'll be transferring any delinquencies to the tax roll November 15th. I apologize. In terms of taxes, those tax bills are on track with the county's targeted timeline. We're hoping to approve the bills with the printer by Thanksgiving. Dan worked on reconciliation efforts with stormwater, and then I'm working on garbage. We're just waiting for the county to confirm back on those special charges. And then, like I mentioned, rolling the delinquent utility as well. Just for your information, the large municipalities take priority over Thanksgiving weekend, so we're hoping to have our tax bills approved right after that weekend for mailing. Last week it was, or last year it was 12/4 is when we finalized due to, like I said, the priority of we're not one of the largest municipalities that have that printing done over the holiday. So in terms of banking negotiations, those are complete. So during the high balance months of December through February, Waukesha State Bank will match LGIP, which is really great news for us. So that's it for updates. I can move on to those financials. So my report's right after the credit card statement. I'll speak to the summary first. So as of the end of September, we received 98% of our budgeted revenues. That's up at the top right. And the upcoming revenues, you'll notice down below, approximately $462,000 in state aids. The total expenditures account for 66% of the budget as of September 30th. And then if you include the sinking funds transfer that we levied for, then we're at 74% total expenditures. So we're in a healthy position for both revenue and expenditures at the onset of Q4. No major department callouts. Upcoming debt payment that is already complete for the clean water loan and for the $3,000 in interest. And then I just listed the January loans coming up as an FYI due to us approaching year end. Moving on to investments. The total investments as of September are approximately 13.3 million. The total interest earned for Q3 includes the utility accounts at 152,000. The interest income is slightly lower than Q3 last year. The current rate's around 4% versus 5% last year. And we're more in line with Q3 2023, as you can see historically. A quick rate update. LGIP is at 4.22% for October, and that's due to the Fed lowered those rates in September for the first time this year, and then again in October. So the range for federal funds rate is 3.75 to 4.0% as of now. So the market is pricing in a 70% likelihood of one more 25 basis points rate cut at the Fed's final meeting in December. But Chair Powell did push back against a guaranteed rate cut in December, as there's growing support among Fed officials for potentially pausing. Long-term projections, again, just projections. Fed target rates 3.5 to 3.75% by the end of 2025. A slow decline to 3.4% potentially by the end of 2026 for that goal of 3.1% by end of 2027. So that's definitely a to be continued conversation, and I will keep you all updated in months to come. Anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, move on to new business, discussion and necessary action regarding the approval of the proposed 2026 Village of Lisbon budget. Excuse me.
You all should have had a late arriving handout, request for consideration with the just the category callouts on it.
Someone want to take a shot at this, or who wants to take a shot at this one? Who wants to make a motion?
We have to read all the categories out?
You want me to read out the motion I'm looking for and have a so moved, or?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'd be looking for a motion to approve the 2026 budget, the general budget of $8,702,335, the capital budget of $4,516,854, compost budget of $49,164, a TID #1 budget of $645,763, the stormwater budget amount of $259,777, and sewer utility budget of $841,000.
481,000.
$481,460.
Oh, well.
Second. All right,
Mark, you were the second?
I will.
Thank you. 841.
I'll just try this.
is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed,
Aye.
opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. We'll move on to item 9B, which is resolution 2025-07, declaring the intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing.
This is a resolution required to spend monies that we have not borrowed for yet, but we intend to. So that way, when we do borrow monies for this capital project, that we can pay ourselves back, reimburse ourselves for what we spend. So it's a requirement from Ellers, And the resolution is basically from Ellers, and we kind of filled in the blanks here, but. What we're looking to do is spend $43,654 on the heating units at Good Hope Station. Nick doesn't wanna have his guy operate in, 20-degree weather with no heat. So we wanna get that addressed as soon as possible. So that's what the resolution is, and then the actual heaters being replaced is the next item on the agenda. I would look for a motion to approve.
Just quickly, do we have to identify the budget year for this? I know the resolution does, but it doesn't identify the budget year.
I don't believe so. This is basically verbatim from Ellers, so that this is their template. We just filled out basically the project and the amount and the description. If you want to include it in the motion to approve for the 2026 budget at the end, I think that would be sufficient.
You want to make a motion, Mike?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-07, a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing to be addressed in the 26th budget.
All right. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. All right, so then the related item is item C, which is the DPW request to replace the heater at the DPW shop building.
Yeah, I don't have the report, the or the quote you have in your packet, so all of the options are included in the request, so it would be. Option 3, option 2, and option 1, all included for a total cost, not to exceed that $3,654. And that number was updated in the budget, in the capital budget line items. And Nick is here if you have any other questions regarding the quote.
Have any questions for Nick? Nick was nice enough to come. We should have him sometime.
Yeah, how did we land on, I don't remember using this company ever before, how did we land on Gross?
So Gross has done multiple heaters for us, then service charges for us, just fixing heat exchangers and everything. Gross was what I contacted last year to get a quote for the one heater. I reached out to Sprung last year and they were significantly higher than Gross last year, so Gross just one that I was recommended from the previous president, and they found the furnace, they found our AC unit, they took this AC unit, so it's a familiar company we've worked with and it's been our building multiple times.
We used them for our AC unit just a couple months ago, and they were quick and they were reasonable. Well, I didn't have an issue.
Any other discussion questions for Nick or ourselves?
Can they get in before the weather? turns?
Yeah, I'll have to call tomorrow, kind of, I think, and see how far out they are, so. We have 2 heaters kind of working, so.
Just space heater.
Yeah.
All right, is there a motion on this item then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the DPW request to place the heater at the shop building.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item 9D is the DPW request to replace the air compressor at the DPW shop.
I'll let Nick speak to this, but basically the new air compressor, they went out and found 3 quotes, and this was the lesser of the quote. It sounds like there's also some additional electrical work and installation work that needs to be done. Which I'll let Nick speak to.
Yep, so the air compressor in our shop feeds our shop, obviously, for everything, when there's up air, little hoist, everything. Also feeds over to the fire department, which the truck, they plug in all their trucks, their tanks always full and everything, so. it supplies the whole building, and, you kind of know when it's been starting to go out, I guess, for the last few years when we do our services on it, the oil's like milk when it comes out, which oil shouldn't look like milk, but been kicking this long, no issues. And I'd say about 2 months ago, it started flipping the breaker constantly, so if you come in, breaker flipped on it, flip it back off, 2 hours later, flip again, so. Something with the motors drawing too much for the breaker and it's causing the flip. Compressor's from 1994, we believe, so. Been around for a while, and also it's starting to leak more oil out the top hat of the compressor, so. Kind of those things going into winter, we wrench a lot, we use air a lot now, so that's probably. Good time to replace it, so, like you said, I went through. Call Ingersoll Ram, Air Services and Zorn, and Zorn was the cheapest. What we got, so. And the electrical in there, it's because we're gonna be putting in our middle shop, which is where we do all the wrenching and everything, where the compressor currently is. It's in our back shop, which is where we wash, and I thought. But a little bit more of an electrical charge on it, because with all the washing, the humidity, getting wet, I figured get it out of the middle shop, put it in the middle shop, get it out of the back shop. Put it in the middle shop where there's no humidity, no washing, no condensation, so, the big change compared to our air compressor, because. It has like a hair dryer on it, with all our lines hold water from this air compressor, so we have to bleed our lines often, so it's kind of. It's a big upgrade, as our compressor is from 1994, so wasn't really planning on replacing it until we finally decided to go, but. It's popped up a little sooner than expected.
Okay, Mark.
I saw that Zorn is providing the lift for the installation, but then it says Zorn is. Lift provided by others for the electrical.
So Zorn's providing the lift for the others, so they're gonna cover the cost of lift versus the electrical company coming in with their lift. Zorn will supply the lift, and so we don't get charged for second lift, I guess.
Oh, so they're subbing electrical?
Yeah, the electrical gets subbed out, it's 3-phase, so we won't touch 3-phase electrical, so that's why it's included on it, it's like 300 amps or something like that, electrical.
39 dollars.
Yep, so, yeah, they'll have an electrician come in and run power and everything, so. It's included on it.
Does some of this come out of the fire department budget since it's doing the fire department trucks or?
No,
It's
it's our responsibility for
Okay.
this. It makes it a little easier to, more palatable, given that we just sold a plow truck that. We got over 30,000. But we were.
I was just making sure we weren't supposed to charge Pewaukee for some of it since it's.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it can show as an expense, we could allocate the expense between the DPW and the fire department, but at the end of the day, if Lisbon paying for it, it's the same pot of money.
And I mean, given how rough of shape it was in prior to, it probably would have been something. If it were that way, that they would want us to replace before we went into the agreement.
So timing wise, this will be done when
I'm
you think?
hoping, I know when I talked to him a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he did say this got shipment of them in, so. Sure, if I call him tomorrow, you'll say, depending on the electrician. So. Don't know, not until I call and find out for sure, get a date set up.
It'll be done before year end.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then this will be shown as in the operating budget expense, for building maintenance or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
equipment, building.
Okay.
And I realize there's not a total on here, so, the not to exceed would be 23,110. Well, that's what I get when I add it.
okay, yeah, that's.
All right. Good discussion. Is there any additional discussion? We ready for a motion?
Sounds like we got our money's worth out of the old one.
No.
We are months of work,
Okay, John.
barely less than.
You were born after I graduated. Okay, all right, we'll talk about that.
We're not.
Right. Right, are we ready for a motion?
Dan, you said 23,910,
110.
110?
Did you wanna? make a motion now?
I'll make a motion to approve the air compressor not to exceed 23,110.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
I second.
Give it the lid.
All right, so motion is made by Rob, seconded by Linda. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Nick. Item E here is a request from the Moonshiner Snowmobile Club to locate a snowmobile trail adjacent to or it looks like actually across village property.
Yeah, so this is a request by Moonshiners Inc. And so maybe members of the board that were here for a while, is this pretty typical of Moonshiners to come in every year with this improvement?
Yes,
My first, so. In any case, they did request that they use the area that's behind the fire station. In order as their route to cut through kind of the woods in the back and jump over, as opposed to going through this intersection along KF and K. I did reach out to the fire department just to make sure that the chief didn't have any issues. He had no issues or concerns. And so bringing it to the board for approval.
Is there already a trail there, or is it, they gotta cut something?
It looks like from the GIS that there was something that had driven back there, so I think there's a way to get back there, but we can follow up with the shiners to make sure that they're not clear cutting trees, which I don't anticipate that we would give them authority to do.
Which is clearly stated in here that they're not going to. Do you remember the location last year?
It was on the county highway. It wasn't on.
So then that got through the property. Okay.
They're not going through the cornfield, they're definitely going through the wood.
Yeah, they're going through the woods. There's like, I thought I saw rock marks in there, but. If you zoom in, go with some GIS.
I mean, I have no problem with it as long as they're not cutting
If they
down
can-
trees
I was
and.
gonna say, if they can maneuver through there, then they're gonna come little obstacle course.
Better than going through the intersection.
Yeah, and Google Street View went through there July of 25, and it doesn't look like there's any. Oh,
Are they allowed to traverse a wetland with that trail?
What's that?
Are they allowed to traverse a wetland with that trail? Cause we'd be giving them permission to drive through it.
That I'm not sure of. I see snowmobile
that's it.
people on rivers. and
Yeah.
stuff all the time.
Mhm.
I think they go through a lot of wetlands, maybe not a lot of wetlands that are on public
Right.
property, but I would guess so.
That's wetlands back there?
some of it is.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It's wet. I wouldn't. It's probably not wet enough where it would cause an issue for a snowmobile, but it's just DNR.
Well, they're not gonna be back there until it's frozen and covered with snow anyway, correct?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, trails don't open until then.
Do you have any concern with that, Dan?
I only want to make sure it was okay with the fire chief. Otherwise, no, I don't have concern. But I'm fine with snowmobiles doing what they want to do as long as they're not in the road.
And I did not go out and drive it, but when Dan and I talked earlier today, we thought that there was a path
Yeah, look,
through there, but. Yeah, like you're looking at, Mark, it doesn't look like it really is.
I don't see anything.
You look at it from the other side.
Both sides.
Well, I mean, I have no problem approving it with the conditions noted, which includes
This is the,
not cutting
if you
or
look
trimming
at the-
trees.
If you look at the aerial though, the trees that are kind of more in the interior, there's spacing in there, so I have a feeling they can maneuver a snowmobile through there. The GIS, the street view is just gonna show trees, but if you look at the GIS overhead, it looks like there's gaps in there that they can mark off.
Did you talk with a member of the club?
I did.
So they didn't indicate, I mean,
I talked to him prior to actually getting the map, so he just asked about it. I didn't go into looking through the details of where they were going to afterwards, but. I can touch base with them. Make sure that they're.
Did we run this by the attorney? Only reason I say that is because subject 7 on the agreement does not sit well with me, considering there's trees everywhere there.
The owner shall incur no. No, there's no, I didn't pass away.
I mean, I would caution the board from voting on this tonight, just for the language that's contained within number 7, so essentially a not-for-profit with probably a lot less insurance than we have. Is the one that's gonna take ownership of liability, but we all know that the village would be subject to claim should that policy be expended, so.
Yeah, like that last sentence on there.
You could approve it subject to attorney review.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we know the dangerousness of snowmobiles. I wouldn't advise anyone else to vote on it tonight until we have clarification from the attorney.
I agree with you, Mark. I think I'm concerned about the liability, and I'm glad you brought that up. I think we need to make sure that what we're liable for if someone gets hurt. And another thing is if they go across so much of the Lisbon's property, if they do any damage, are they, is there any verbiage in the agreement that they will repair, or replace anything that they have damaged?
Up on the road, the family. Oh, good.
And I'm sorry,
I mean,
The route is,
If you hit a tree,
I'm at a disadvantage right here, and I'm really sorry, because I'm not sure what part of the property that they're taking. I just thought I'd bring that up.
yeah, they're
Okay,
just
one-
wooded areas. I don't think they're gonna incur any damage on our property, but I'll run it by Eric and then we can bring it to the December meeting.
I know we just
Okay,
said,
all right.
we were considering allowing the use of the gravel path on Lake 5 to,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was moonshiners. I
There
think
was
it
a snow bug or something.
Snow bugs, yeah, and, I know we had a different attorney at the time, but they had very large caution against.
Okay.
Allowing use of that, and some of it was even within the right of way.
I'll pass this by Eric and we'll either put it on the next agenda or he'll come up with a revised agreement and see if we can work it out with Jennifer.
So in the past, though, you have voted, you voted on this when it has not gone through the Prop 30.
We haven't had to because it was contained within the public right of way on the road. This is the first one that they've asked to traverse across our entire piece of property.
Okay, so this has not been an annual thing. This is the first, I got the impression that.
This
no,
one
and
isn't,
we-
I don't even remember an agreement from Moonshiners specifically coming past, but like
That's not the name from last
I
year.
thought Sussex Sled Bugs was the last one we considered,
Yeah, and they're up on VV,
right?
yeah. This is the first time I've heard this name.
So this is adjacent to
A few
village
years
property.
back, they wanted to go at the north end of LCP.
Moonshiners then?
Mhm.
Yeah, do any of you remember that?
Yeah,
And there was a whole discussion that if they get there, then they're gonna go all over the park and.
yeah.
That would have been. One.
Yeah.
Was that approved or not?
I
think
don't
so.
remember.
I'll
So
reach
I don't
back out to
remember.
him.
They have the ability to put their trail within a town or county right of way though? Is that what we're?
Well, state statute allows for trails
Mhm.
within the right of way.
So if they need to mark their trails here in the next couple weeks. And we don't have an approval by then. They could just as easily go right through that intersection that we're talking about and stay to the north of the fire station. That'd be an option. I mean, I would be fine, I would be fine approving it condition upon attorney's approval, but I heard at least 2 no's to that, so. I don't know, what do you, Paul?
Well, if
Hold
we
on, Rob.
wait till the next meeting, is that gonna throw a monkey wrench into what they do, or, I don't know, is that gonna hurt their timeline?
They're marking trails
Yeah, it
before.
depends on
that.
Mother Nature, whether the ground is frozen.
I mean, if it's a swamp, they're not gonna be marking anything until it freezes over anyway.
But Nick, when do you see them up, I mean, putting the stakes in the ground? I know like over by me, they haven't put them in yet, but they're gonna be out soon.
Yeah, I see them all.
Okay,
They all. That's only people that have put out markers and everything, so some are sooner than others.
It's a better safe than sorry, that's where I would go.
Yeah, I don't,
she'd like to wait until next month.
I don't think our decision on liability should be pressured by the fact that they decided to file this on the 15th of October.
So I think that's 3 people that wanna push it off, so that's a majority. So is there a motion to table to the next meeting?
I'll make a motion to table it for the next meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to table or not, there's no discussion, right?
No discussion,
Okay.
just a vote.
All those in favor say aye,
I,
Aye.
opposed say nay, motion carries 5-0. Item F is the request from Terry Getz to initiate the process for termination of the conditional use permit for a now removed wireless communication tower that was located on the property at W 260 and 6035 Mary Hill Road with Lisbon tax key number 0257.071.
There is a request for consideration in your packet from Administrator Green. Terry Getz is present on Zoom. Immediately prior to this meeting, Terry did email us indicating that there was a letter from American Tower Corporation terminating the lease, and she forwarded a copy of that termination letter, which is what I just handed out to you.
So, I don't know if you want me to go through the report, but essentially there was a cell tower on Terry Getz's property. And the tower had a fall radius that's
Is your mic on?
yeah. It had a fall radius that limited 2 lots to not be able to be sold because of where the fall radius would fall onto those lots. The cell tower has been removed since I believe it was May. And the lease has been terminated as well, as you can see by the letter that was distributed. So the owner is looking to go through a termination process for the conditional use, which would require the village board to set a public hearing for the next planning commission meeting. It would be a joint public hearing, so we wouldn't need a form of the board. And in which we can proceed with the public hearing and the process to terminate the CUP. And that would be the request of the applicant, and that's what we're looking for a motion for tonight. I believe there was a request to terminate this conditional use 3 years ago, which failed due to the cell tower company wanted it to remain.
Yep, ATC wanted it to remain.
And so now that there's no lease on the property and there is no cell tower at all, we feel comfortable moving forward with termination or public hearing. If we don't do that, then we could terminate it via no use of the conditional use after a year. But that would push that into May and June. And I think Terry's looking to try and get the lot sold within the subdivision, so.
So Dan, one thing you didn't touch on was this is being initiated by the village versus the property owner, and you discussed, you provided a great explanation for that to me earlier. Can you provide that for the
Yeah,
full
it's
board?
just basically our village attorney believes that this should be initiated by the village itself and not by the property owner. Because the property owner is on the conditional use itself as well. So that way, we're the ones that are initiating it. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Right, and Terry Getz has agreed to pay the fees that would typically be associated with that, so shouldn't be concerns there, and I think this moves things along. If it gets up, gets approved at the December meeting, this would allow her to move forward 6 months earlier than otherwise.
which means we'll need a quorum for the December meeting.
I believe Paula, you're up next, but I'll double check.
Okay.
All right, so are we, someone wanna make a motion on this item?
We make a motion to set it for a public hearing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Another request back.
To set a joint public hearing for December 3rd with the Plan Commission to terminate the conditional use permit held on the property located at West 260, North 6035 Mary Hill Road, tax key number LSBT 0257.071.
So
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
I second.
Give it to her.
All right, Rob made the motion, Linda seconded. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay, motion carries 5-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. We're adjourned.
At 7:26.
quick one.